Lyle's story is one of grit, survival, and an unexpected path to greatness. Born in Dayton, Ohio, as the third of 19 children, Lyle's childhood was anything but easy. His family moved to Denver in 1954, where his father worked as a sandblaster at Buckley Air Force Base. Growing up in the tough streets of Denver's northeast side, Lyle found himself drawn into a dangerous world of street gangs. At 19, his life took a devastating turn when he was involved in a fatal shooting. Though he claimed he was defending himself from an attack, he was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 15 to 25 years in prison. While serving time in the Colorado State Penitentiary, Lyle almost lost his life after being stabbed by another inmate. On the operating table, doctors struggled to keep him alive, and it took 36 blood transfusions to save him. After surviving that near-death experience, Lyle found new purpose. During his 90 days in solitary confinement, he started working out, doing push-ups, sit-ups, and squats, building the strength that would one day define him as a boxer. Lyle wasn't just rebuilding his body, he was rebuilding his life. He got involved with the Black Cultural Development Society in prison, coaching the football team and becoming a leader among his peers. But it was a July 4th prison boxing event in 1962 that changed everything. Sitting in the crowd, watching the fights, Lyle had a revelation. I can do better than that. A fire was lit inside him, and by 1964, he was making waves in the prison boxing ring. Though he lost his first match, Lyle never lost again behind bars. One man, Lieutenant Cliff Mattax, the prison's athletic director, played a huge role in Lyle's transformation. At first, Lyle resisted Mattax's attempts to connect, but after his brush with death, everything shifted. Mattax believed in Lyle, and that belief sparked something powerful. Lyle went from being a convicted felon to a determined fighter. He knew he was destined for something greater, and boxing was his way out. Lyle became a force in the ring, and before long, boxers from outside the prison were coming in just to face him. His reputation as a born athlete grew, and his dedication to the sport only intensified. From a life nearly lost in the darkness of prison walls, Lyle rose, driven by the dream that one day he'd fight his way into history. Lyle burst onto the scene in 1971 and quickly made a name for himself as a fearless fighter who loved to entertain. Lyle was known for his knockout power and his heart, never backing down from any challenge. He took on some of the toughest opponents in the heavyweight division, defeating big names like Buster Mathis, Oscar Bonavena, Jimmy Ellis, and Ernie Shavers. In 1975, Lyle went toe-to-toe with the legendary Muhammad Ali for the heavyweight title. Though he didn't win, his determination only grew stronger. But the fight that truly cemented his legacy came in 1976, when he faced George Foreman in a bout so thrilling it was named Fight of the Year. Punches flew, both men were knocked down multiple times, and the crowd was on the edge of their seats. Lyle may not have become world champion, but he earned a place in boxing history as one of the most exciting and courageous fighters to ever step into the ring. Lyle's journey from prison inmate to boxing star is nothing short of remarkable. While serving his sentence, he fought in around 25 unofficial amateur bouts, losing only once and claiming 6 heavyweight titles among inmates. By 1969, Lyle was eligible for parole but was rejected twice, with officials insisting that a career in professional boxing wasn't a suitable plan. But Lyle's reputation had already reached the outside world, catching the attention of Bill Daniels, a cable TV executive and owner of the Denver Rocks boxing team. Daniels offered Lyle a job as a welder at his company, and in November 1969, after 7.5 years behind bars, Lyle was released on parole. The very next day, Lyle showed up at the Rocks gym in Denver, determined to prove himself. Though the team already had 2 heavyweights, Lyle wasn't discouraged. "I figured I could whip them," he said, and in less than a month, he was their heavyweight. His first amateur fight with the team was a knockout victory in the 3rd round, and from there, his star kept rising. In 1970, Lyle captured multiple titles, including the National AAU Heavyweight Championship, the North American Amateur Heavyweight Championship, and the International Boxing League Heavyweight Championship. His success didn't stop there. As a member of the U.S. national boxing team, Lyle traveled across Europe, facing top heavyweights. Though he lost to Romanian Ion Alex, he stunned the Soviet Armenian heavyweight Kumo Soroyan, knocking him out on live television. Lyle became the first American to knock out a Soviet heavyweight, and his victory over Dwayne Bobbitt, who took 5 minutes to regain consciousness, solidified his place as a powerhouse. By early 1971, Lyle had amassed an amateur record of 25-4 with 17 knockouts and was ready to turn pro. Bill Daniels kept his promise, and after defeating the Russian, Lyle signed his professional contract. Lyle's dedication was unwavering. He quit his job and trained for 6 months, determined never to lose due to poor conditioning. Throughout his professional career, Lyle remained connected to his roots, visiting fellow inmates in prison before or after every fight, never forgetting where he came from. His rise to the top was fueled by raw talent, grit, and a refusal to be beaten down by life's toughest challenge. Ron Lyle's journey into professional boxing began later than most. At 30 years old, he stepped into the ring for his first fight in Denver, Colorado, under the guidance of trainer Bobby Lewis and promoter Bill Daniels. His debut was an explosive one, knocking out A.J. Staples in the second round. Lyle quickly built an impressive 19-0 record with 17 knockouts, making his mark as a serious contender. He didn't just beat average fighters. He knocked out Vicente Rondon, a light heavyweight champion, and Buster Mathis, a towering heavyweight. He also won a unanimous decision against former WBA heavyweight champion Jimmy Ellis. After his victory over Mathis, Lyle had his eyes set on facing the undisputed champion, Joe Frazier, though he made it clear he wasn't rushing. "When I'm ready, I'm not taking any shortcuts," he said. Even Frazier's manager, Yancey Durham, acknowledged Lyle's powerful punches. Lyle's rise earned him a 4th ranking in the heavyweight division by both the WBA and the Ring magazine. But his undefeated streak came to an end when he faced the experienced Jerry Quarry, who used his smarts in the ring to outbox Lyle. Another tough loss followed in 1975 to Jimmy Young, who again beat Lyle in a rematch before going on to defeat George Foreman in 1977. Despite these setbacks, Lyle's name had already been cemented as one of the top heavyweights of his time. On May 16, 1975, Ron Lyle got his chance to fight heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali. This was Ali's second defense of his title during his second reign as champ. Lyle, with trainers Bobby Lewis and Chico Ferrara in his corner, started the fight as the aggressor, while Ali stayed calm, letting Lyle score punches. Ali stood in the center of the ring, covering up and saving energy, while Lyle refused to fall for Ali's famous rope-a-dope strategy. As the fight went on, Ali picked his moments to strike, even though Lyle was ahead on all 3 judges' scorecards going into the 11th round. Then, Ali landed a powerful right hand and followed up with quick punches. The referee stopped the fight, feeling that Lyle could no longer defend himself. Lyle's team disagreed with the referee's call, believing the fight was stopped too soon. Ron Lyle is best remembered for his legendary fight against George Foreman in 1976. Foreman was trying to make a comeback after his loss to Muhammad Ali, and the two heavyweights put on one of the most thrilling and brutal fights in boxing history. Lyle came out strong, winning the first round and landing heavy punches, including a big right hand that shook Foreman. In the second round, Lyle was nearly knocked out, but a mistake in the timing of the round gave him a break, allowing him to recover. The fight was back and forth, and in the fourth round, Lyle shocked everyone by knocking Foreman down twice, even though Lyle was knocked down once himself. Only Lyle, Muhammad Ali, and Jimmy Young ever managed to knock Foreman down in a professional fight. Foreman later admitted that Lyle was the toughest and hardest hitter he ever faced. Eventually, Foreman won by knockout in the fifth round, saying Lyle was too exhausted to continue. Throughout his career, Lyle also had big wins over top fighters like Jose Luis Garcia, Oscar Bonavena, Ernie Shavers, and Joe Bugner. Later in life, while working as a security guard in Las Vegas, Lyle faced another murder accusation, but he was acquitted, with his lawyers saying he acted in self-defense. Ron Lyle passed away at the age of 70 on Saturday, November 26, 2011, due to complications from a sudden stomach illness.